All right. Hey, everybody. Good morning and happy Groundhog Day. I don't know how many of you have seen the movie by Bill Murray, Groundhog Day. It is one of those movies that literally is worth watching every single year. Um, and I never think to get it ordered, and then I don't want to spend money on it, and then I just miss that I haven't seen it. I don't know. Or is anybody else like that? Anyway, that's not what I want to talk about today. If you have an opportunity to watch that movie, it is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen it, it's a story about a guy who has to relive one day of his life over and over and over and over again. And so the same things keep happening, and it doesn't matter what he does. Good, bad, ugly, he wakes up the next morning and he has to relive his life over again until he learns how to be a better person and he's able to attract the woman that he loves. So I wanted to talk about that today because it is Groundhog Day. What would our lives be like if we had a do-over day like Groundhog Day? Like if we knew no matter what we did, no matter how badly we screwed up, tomorrow we get an absolutely fresh start. We're in exactly the same place with exactly the same people. The same things are going on. The only thing that changes is how we react, how we respond, how we act, which then affects some other things going forward. But I just love the idea that we could possibly have a do-over day. I mean, that is just, it's one of the cool things. Just do it over until you get it right. Now, our lives in a way are like that, where we do have the opportunity to do things over. But a lot of times when we mess up, we maybe mess up a relationship or we mess up an opportunity. And this is something where it literally goes back to square one, which is a really cool concept. The second thing that I really love about this one is the thought of taking a chance and not having any consequences. There's a point in the movie where he's just so frustrated and fed up with not being able to get out of this time loop. He's driving his car off a cliff, and then he wakes up the next morning. It doesn't matter that he, ended it all, which obviously we don't want to be ending it all. I'm please not advocating that. But I love the idea of being able to take a chance, being able to do something scary, especially something that could move the needle forward and not having any negative consequences from it. And if there's positive, like if you had to do it over and over and over, do it over and over and over till you get some huge positive benefit from it. I just think that would be awesome. But the idea of being able to do something and not having any negative consequences, that one is just really, really appealing to me. There's the Bible verse that talks about fear. Perfect love casts out fear because fear has to do with punishment. I think the reason why we get in our own way is we're worried about the consequences. We're worried about punishment. We're worried about judgment. We're worried about all of these things. Well, first of all, you can't stop other people from judging you. It's just they don't know any better and they can't help themselves. Most of the time they're so busy thinking about themselves, they're not really thinking about you, and their judgment isn't going to have any real harmful consequences to you anyway. It's just the thoughts going on in someone else's head. So, anyway, I don't know why that popped up, but it did. But here's the thing. Groundhog Day, today's our Groundhog Day. I have no clue what the little groundhog guy, if we're supposed to have more winter or not. I hope not. Gosh, here we've had a real winter in the Denver area this year. Last year we had a very, very mild winter, and so I, for one, got spoiled, and I think a lot of people have. My house faces north, so when the snow comes, it doesn't melt. They don't plow my street, and so I'm driving down streets like in Wash Park where there's a lot of trees and there's always ice and snow on the road. They don't plow there either, and those streets have melted, and my street, it hasn't melted. It is still covered with snow and crusted, but when it's real bad, I have to have somebody literally, I can get out of the driveway usually and into the street, but when I come home, I can't get from the street into my driveway, so I can get home like I'm stranded in the middle of the street, and I'm always I let my son know what time I'm going to be home so he can come push me back in the driveway. Or if I'm really stuck, kind strangers have been really nice, which is awesome. That's one of the things I love about where I live. I think everybody here is really kind. Kind strangers will stop and push me back into the driveway so I can park my car and not be a road hazard. That's off the track for what this is, but it's just the idea of Groundhog Day. What kind of changes? So if today's our Groundhog Day, what are some changes if we're going to pretend we have no consequences? And we can go ahead and pretend we have a do-over tomorrow if we get it wrong today. What's one change that you would make for your personal Groundhog Day? What's one thing you would do to move your needle forward just a little bit? Now, it could be some big kahuna thing that you've been putting off, avoiding, procrastinating, something that's really, it could be a tough conversation that you want to have with somebody. It could be, I don't know, an investment that you've been toying with, making a business that you're thinking about starting. It could be ending something. It could be something big. But the other thing is maybe it's something small. Maybe it's just a teeny tiny habit that you want to implement. Some way of taking better care of yourself, some way of showing up better in a relationship. What's one tiny habit you can do that you've been putting off, maybe because there's fear of consequences, or if I don't get this right, I was thinking maybe somebody could propose. That would be cool. If somebody watches this and you propose as a result, I want to hear about it. I don't know why that came into my head, but that would be really, I've got some friends who are looking for Mr. Right. So if you are Mr. Right and you're looking, reach out and I'll maybe connect you with some gals. I've also got a lot of friends who are stuck in relationships where, how do you make it better? Like, how do you make it better? Well, maybe today's a good day to have that tough conversation. Just go in with a mindset. It's Groundhog Day. I get to start all over tomorrow. And I know this is pure fantasy, but sometimes these little tricks that we do can help us to do the things we need to do to move forward. And then if you totally screw it up, you can always go back, apologize, and that's a subject we can cover on another day. But I just thought, the big kahuna things would be more exciting. I would really love to hear somebody's big kahuna things. But even a little tiny thing. I'm trying to think of, I haven't done any big, the only thing I'm doing right now is I'm starting to go live more. It's not a big kahuna thing, but it is something that I have been procrastinating. And the reason to go live is so people can see this is really me. This is, that people trust you more when they can see unfiltered, and this is just how you live and whatever. I've been very mindful about doing it when the kids go off to school, so it's a little quieter and there's fewer interruptions and there's less bathroom humor and all of those things that go on. So it's a big thing to some people. It's a little thing. I think it's kind of a medium thing to me. One of the little things that I'm doing just this year in general, and I started this in January, is I'm trying not to do any late night snacking. I've lost 3 pounds doing nothing else but no late night snacking. I do take the fat burn, which burns 181 calories while you're resting. So I've got that to kind of give me just a little bit, but I'm not dieting per se. I'm not exercising. I'm not working really hard on that. I'm literally just trying not to snack late at night. And I track it because what you measure increases. And I'm good about 60% of the time. My January was about 60%. So there's a lot of room for improvement. I am so far away from being perfect. So that's why I'm always saying progress, not perfection, or progress is perfection is another thing. If you can hang on to those concepts, it will free you up from all kinds of condemnation, self-judgment, self-sabotage, beating yourself up, not finding the joy in your life. I know I can share that with everybody every single day, and it's going to have value for you. Trying to think what else I wanted to talk about on Groundhog Day. Everything I wrote down, by the way, writing things down, again, that's a key. I've actually shared. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and end this. If you watch it, thank you so much for watching. If you want more content just on personal development, inspiration, business tips, things like that, follow me. I really do love, love, love helping people start home-based businesses because it's so cool to work at home, be with your family, not have to deal with traffic. I love the tax advantages. And so now that it's February, everybody's got their W-2s and things like that. So you're starting to look at how much money you paid in and or how much money you still have to pay in. I will tell you, if you have a home-based business, I can easily find $6,000 in deductions for you. Boom, 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 boom. You do what I do, you get $6,000 back that you've given to the government from your job, and you can have fun and be with amazing people and make a difference in people's lives. That's a cool thing that fires me up. So for those of you that are working on your taxes, be thinking about that. And the sooner you start, the better off you're going to be. So business type of content. I'm not an accountant, but I will sometimes post some stuff about tax deductions. Funny stuff. If there's something really funny going on, I will try and post that as well. But today's encouragement is today's your personal Groundhog Day. If you had no consequences, if you could just go out and do something that maybe you got to do over tomorrow, or maybe there's no consequences for, pretend there's no consequences, I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and take that chance. Happy Groundhog Day, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Make it a great day. And my hashtag is always hashtag stay awesome.